Welcome to Untangling Traditions. Today we'll be speaking with Dr. Christèle Barois, a postdoctoral research fellow on the AyurYog project, Entangled Histories of Yoga, Ayurveda and Alchemy in South Asia. Dr. Barois is a Sanskritist at the University of Vienna who specialises in premodern Tantric Śaivism, Puranic literature, medicine, Ayurveda and yoga. Specifically, she's been working on a critical edition and annotated translation of the Dharmaputrikā, an early work on yoga that provides very interesting connections between yoga and medicine. So welcome, Christèle. What does the name Dharmaputrikā mean, and who do you think the text was written for?
Let me first say that the Dharmaputrikā, as its name does not indicate, is a manual for yoga practice. This text comprises about 350 shlokas, organized into 16 chapters of unequal lengths. It could, in all probability, be the most ancient yoga manual transmitted to us, since it probably predates the 7th century. I'm now preparing a critical edition and annotated translation in collaboration with Anil Kumaracharya, assistant professor in Tripura, and Nirajan Kafle, who is part of the Shiva Dharma project. Dharmaputrikā means little daughter of Dharma. In the Mahabharata, the Manava Dharma Shastra and other Dharma texts, Putrika has the technical meaning of a daughter providing male offspring to her father who lacks a son. But I have no certainty as to why this early yoga text would be called Dharmaputrikā. It echoes Dharmaputra, son of Dharma, which designates King Yudhishthira in the Mahabharata. But it could also be understood in connection with the name of the author-compiler of the Dharmaputrikā, Dharmashila Putra, meaning son of Dharmashila. As for the recipients of the text, the compiler, Dharmashila Putra, specifies that the Dharmaputrikā is an abridged version of a yoga teaching which he has written down for educational purposes. He uses the Sanskrit word bala, meaning young boy, ignorant, or beginner. The Dharmaputrikā provides us with a whole set of breathing techniques, mainly breath retention and meditation intended for yogins, with a view to extracting the soul, Atman, from the material body. Two other intermediate goals are also envisaged, requiring supernatural powers or alternatively the ability of the yogin to change his body in case he wishes to complete his yoga practice without any loss of knowledge, which would be the case if he would be born again.
So manuscripts of the Dharmaputrikā are often found in bundles with texts of the Shiva Dhamma corpus. Why do you think this is the case?
What is known today as the Shiva Dhamma corpus is a set of 8 or 9 texts that were transmitted by several Nepalese manuscripts dated from the 11th and 12th century. The Dharmaputrikā, which appears in all but one of these manuscripts, is invariably the last text in this corpus. The study of the formation of the corpus and relationships of these texts to each other is still in its early stages, and it would be adventurous to make any definitive statement about it. So far, the Shiva Dharma Shastra and the Shiva Dharmottara are considered to be the earliest texts of the corpus, dated around the beginning of the 7th century. These two texts, which obviously enjoyed great popularity, as they were disseminated widely in the same way and perhaps through the same channels as early Puranic literature, would then have prompted all the other texts of the corpus, the Shivadharma Sangraha, the Uma Maheshvara Samvada, the Uttarottara Maha Samvada, the Shivopanishad, the Vrishasa Sangraha, and the Dharmaputrikā. The problem is that the Dharmaputrikā cannot be read in the wake of the Shivadharma Shastra and the Shivadharmottara. First, while all the other texts are mostly of Puranic nature and aim to disseminate Shaivism, the Dharmaputrikā is a technical yoga text. Its Shaiva features are limited. No devotional or ritual elements is found in it. On the contrary, the Dharmaputrikā could be considered in several respects as an exposition of a bodily technique as defined by Marcel Mauss. The second reason is that some textual parallels tend to show that the teaching of the Dharmaputrikā predates the Shivadharmottara and most consequently the Shivadharma Shastra. To say it briefly, the Dharmaputrikā is the exposition of elaborated yoga practices, and the Shivadharma Shastra and Shivadharmottara are Shaiva proselyte discourses. The reason why the Dharmaputrikā would be placed last among the texts is that it does not directly serve the purpose intended by this corpus, namely the strengthening of Nepalese kingship.
So what are some of the extraordinary features of the yoga it teaches?
The Dharmaputrikā is a text exclusively dealing with yoga. It is organic, coherent, and complete. I say complete because it exposes all the progressive steps which lead to the going out of the body. In itself, this is particularly remarkable. In other words, it explains how to abstract the individual soul from one's body in order to merge it ultimately into a supreme principle called Brahman or sometimes Shiva. What is also particular is that internal practices are described with an exceptional depth of detail and a high level of bodily technicality, with this presupposing a tradition of experimentation and systematization over a long period. The most striking example is the description of the conquest of the 5 bodily wings, Panchajaya, and the description of the 5 actions, Panchakarma, which are the 5 stages of the ascent up to the going out of the body and beyond. Another extraordinary feature of the Dharmaputrikā is that it provides us with an early testimony of deep integration of medicine into the course of yogic practices. I mean, not only integration of medical theory through the medical terminology used, but most importantly, integration of medical practices adapted to yogins.
So do any of the teachings or techniques of the Dharmaputrikā anticipate those of early Hatha Yoga?
Regarding Hatha Yoga, that is the yoga texts which were formulated from the beginning of the 2nd millennium, the most popular text of which being the Hatha Pradipika, which is in fact a compilation dated from the 15th century. It is clear that the bodily practices characteristic of this tradition are not found in the Dharmaputrikā. The seal, mudra, and the locks, that is bodily constriction, bandha, for example, are not found in the Dharmaputrikā. Likewise, There is no actual chakra system in the Dharmaputrikā. Rather, it shows that certain practices that could have been attributed to the tradition of Hatha Yoga literature are much older. For example, it teaches internal practices that involve simultaneously the mind, breath, and bindu, the drop, as is the case in the Amrita Siddhi, dated 11th century and considered to be the earliest Hatha Yoga text. The difference is that bindu denotes the individual soul, jiva, atman, in the Dharmaputrikā, while it means semen, rajas, in Hatha Yoga texts. In this regard, it should be noted that almost unanimously, including in the classical medical compendia, the semen is the vehicle for the individual soul at the time of conception. Could semen in the Hatha Yoga tradition be a metonymy, implicitly denoting the individual soul?
So you're not able to answer that one for us today, but your research has revealed that 2 18th century manuscripts of the Dharmaputrikā include a 5th chapter on chikitsa therapy that was borrowed directly from the Dharmaputrikā. So what is the practical value of this chapter on chikitsa?
In the framework of the AyurYog project, we have raised the question regarding the nature of the medical practices of yogins and their medical knowledge. Did they practice medicine by themselves for their own sake, or rather consult medical practitioners outside of their own milieu? Studies show that the relationship between classical Indian medicine and yoga from early medieval period onwards is not clearly established and characterized, since first, classical Indian medicine and yoga are 2 separate domains of knowledge in the Sanskrit tradition. And second, texts dealing with yoga show evidence for medical knowledge, but not in a sufficiently elaborated and integrated manner to assume that by these times, yogins had an actual medical practice concomitant with their yoga practices and adapted to it. In order to examine the question of the links between yoga and medicine in medieval India, I began to review different yoga texts in Shaiva and Hatha Yoga literature. I was looking for not only scattered occurrences of diseases, not only the hint at the theory of the 3 humors, but strong evidence of a real integration of medicine and yoga in terms of practice. And in this regard, the Dharmaputrikā is beyond my expectations. The Dharmaputrikā not only attests to a close link between yoga and medicine in early medieval India, but it allows us to precisely define the nature of this link. Contrary to what is found in all other yoga texts, medical practices are an integral part of the yoga practice, understood as a technique to get the soul out of its body, that is to say, a technique to die. The effects of the breath retention exercise on the body, that is production of diseases, improvement or decline of health, depending on the progress of the yogin, are taken into account throughout the yoga process. And specialized medical knowledge, which manifests itself in a wide lexical field of disease names, precise knowledge of the theory of the 3 humors, appears at different places in the text according to the needs of the yogin at different levels of his yoga accomplishments. In particular, the disease considered as an obstacle to yoga, then the medical treatment of this disease is fully taken into account in the very structure of the systematic exposure on yoga. Chapter 7, named Pramada Jantaraya, obstacles produced through carelessness, exposes diseases that hold the rank of obstacles, just like other categories of yoga obstacles. The first 5 verses of this chapter explain the general conditions for the appearance of these obstacles, namely, the fact that during the ascent of the bodily winds up to the fontanelle, the winds have not been conquered properly. And then chapter 10, named Chikitsa, medical treatment, is devoted to the treatment of these obstacles to yoga. In this chapter, the diseases produced when the wind sent on the wrong path is blocked in the receptacle of bile, pitta koshta, or flame, kapha koshta, followed each time with a particular dietary and specific breathing practices are described. For example, the disease produced by the wind blocked in the pitta koshta are piercing pain in the heart, the side, and the back. The treatment is ointment with sesame oil, a hot water bath, rice boiled in milk and ghee, and the breathing practices are exhalation and inhalation repeated many times.
So the content described in the Dharmaputrikā is extraordinary. These elaborate descriptions of methods to overcome obstacles, the methods to resolve diseases in the body that may arise due to negligence. All of this make it a really quite unique text. So thank you, Christèle, for bringing this text to our attention. We really look forward to 2 forthcoming peer-reviewed papers from you. One, a general summary of the Dharmaputrikā, which we know is in peer review at the moment with the Journal of Yoga Studies, so we look forward to that. Another on yoga and medicine in the Dharmaputrikā. And then finally, your annotated translation and your forthcoming critical edition. We look forward to that in the future. So thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure.